So, in the news tonight, I will simply remark on the fact that somebody tipped me off. It came off as like spam in the comment in the last video. Thank you very much, whoever you were. Ultimately, you're trying to say that there was some Russian intelligence that a nuke had gone off the coast of South Carolina, and then like a couple days later or a day later, the head of the nuke, Michael Carey, ended up being fired, and it appears that the earthquake did in fact happen off the coast of South Carolina in an area that is apparently has low tectonic activity. The question is, was it one? Was it a mistake? Was it sabotage? Did somebody just take the nuke out, hit the gas pedal on some kind of boat, and it went out there and blew up or something? I don't know. So yeah, if anyone knows any more detail about that, leave it in the comments. But what I will say is, it's far enough away where I guess people just didn't notice that the earthquake happened. That is kind of weird though. Like if a nuke was exploded underwater, but this one was supposed to be like a bunker buster that would have actually just like detonated into the ground and shot down or something like that. So I don't know. But hey, there's an earthquake, and then a couple days, right off the coast of the eastern coast of the U.S. A couple days later, the nuke commander gets fired. Correlation. I mean, is there a connection or a correlation? Yeah, well, there's obviously a correlation, but is there a connection? I don't know. Okay, so let's see. I have a couple minutes left, but what will I say? I guess I'm starting to worry a little bit about vilification. Like I'm starting to become concerned that, I don't know, like for the past hour and a half or a couple hours here, I've been feeling the realization of how it was before all this crap started hitting the fan. Kind of looking back at what they were thinking and what they were doing and stuff like that. And at the time, there was so much stability. It was like it was like, let's progress the world in this ecological, way. There was this sort of altruistic appearance going on. It was almost as though the operation that Obama was going to implement may not have even been put in place. Like it was just going so well that perhaps the idea of self-fulfilling the prophecies and things like that was just taking a back burner. It was kind of like, let's, they were thinking, let's just progress the world in this social program way. It was like I saw operations at the time that were in that fail-safe category of taking Obama down. It kind of got brought up the other night. It was like there is a very legitimate case to be made about the fact that the Supreme Court is allowing an illegitimate president in office because of the natural born argument. And I don't care what other people say. I mean, there is a, obviously, there's a million things that are not being enforced by the Supreme Court. But anyway, what I'm trying to say, though, is that when that became a problem, like in Florida, there was a judge who was about to rule And this was unheard of because at the time it was just pro-Obama, pro-Obama. But there was a judge who was about to rule, you know what? Obama's not going to show up on the ballot because he's not a natural-born citizen. And then at the same time, because that was being pushed by Corsi from WMD. So WMD is working these fail-safes, and their stuff was on a back burner, and he was clearly sort of stirring the pot, getting it ready for the Obama takedown. And they'll take that whichever direction they wanted to go with it, which I would have thought was this anti-Muslim kind of thing. But ultimately, apparently that was too much damage, so Jones supports this video, which is a show of how they were using their the opposition was getting a little too strong, and they were like, no, it's too strong. I don't even know if we're going to do that whole take down Obama thing. Well, the opposition got really strong, and they're clearly, I think, going forward with that, controlling the uprising thing, possibly for the better, but obviously for the better. I mean, the fundamental change that was occurring was, we don't want to be livestock, right? We don't want to become a conglomerate entity. It's actually like people when they give up their individualism, become incredibly boring, And obviously you see the stagnation of invention and things like that. And so the message of the resistance, despite the fact that it might be controlled, is simply that there is power in the individual. Right? So it's like the individual is kind of where the buck stops, It's all about the rights of the individual, the good of the individual. You owe your moral, like you're morally indebted in a way to an individual, not to some sort of conglomerate entity or anything like that. I don't know if I'm making sense, but anyway, what I'm trying to say is like, you see these movements and things like that, and those are nice, but they're soulless. It's like zombie-like. It's not. Sorry.